on that. Mr. Luetkemeyer, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In some of the information we have here, there's a quote from June 29th of the New York Review, something to the effect that says, rather we can expect a slow, insidious, long-burning fuse of fear, terror, and paralysis that the Taliban have lit, and the state is unstable and partly unwilling to douse. With the recent arrests that have come about in Pakistan and their seemingly different approach to dealing with the Taliban, do you see an improvement in the government's ability to control its own destiny here, or is it still as unstable or more unstable than what the original comment was made almost a year ago?
We're certainly happy to offer any sort of briefings to you or others about the arrests and include the intel component, which I can't really speak to. I think that there are a number of indicators that our relationship with the government of Pakistan is on increasingly stable and more constructive grounds, and due to actions on both sides, and it's one that both we and the Pakistani government have invested a lot of time and effort into over the past 14 months, and I think that is beginning to show dividends. Mr.
Beaver, what's your thought?
I would just add that I think what we've seen over the last year and a half is a more conscious effort by the government of Pakistan when it does have to take certain military actions in populated areas, that they've learned some lessons from the approach they took in the Malakand and Swat and Mangora areas, as they've moved into Waziristan, with better joint civilian planning for better pre-staging of supplies for populations that escape from those areas because of the fighting, and for better pre-planning to go back in to try to re-establish stability in those areas. To me, that's a signal of better consciousness both within the military of the Pakistan government and the civilian sides of the importance of doing these kinds of stabilization efforts for their security in a more humane way and for more rapid recovery.
Well, it seemed that the more stable the government, the more effective our aid would be to the people of Pakistan. I would assume that we will be supporting them in those endeavors and hope that they will be able to do a better job of controlling their country and the various factions in there. Otherwise, the aid is going to fall in the wrong hands, I would assume. Do you have any way to measure how our aid is being effective, how effective it is? You know, the number of schools or water projects, or more kids being educated, or more people having less disease. I mean, do you have some measurable way of seeing what we've been doing, what the outcomes are?
Yeah, in those areas where we operate, we do baseline surveys, we do monitoring, we do interim assessments as well to see how many more children are able, in the certain catchment basin, let's say, of population, able to get some minimal primary education, for example. How many more girls are coming back into school because we've combined a feeding program like our Head Start, for example, so that in fact they are more motivated to come into school. We do monitor maternal child health statistics and maternal morbidity and infant mortality. So those are the kinds of measures we try to take as we operate. What kind of community development activities, how much community participation we're getting, including female participation in the communities, especially difficult in areas of Fatah, for example. We do have ways to do that, and if you would like more information, we can make that available to the committee.
I would also add that the White House has undertaken their metrics process, which has been ongoing over the past 6 or 8 months, and I know that the first report due to Congress, I believe, will come at the end of this month. Regarding Fatah in particular, just to amplify what Jim said, I think there is a sense that because of the security issues, because of other ongoing concerns, that there's not necessarily much that we've been able to do there, and that's very much not the case. Just since September 2009, USAID and OTI have completed 32 activities totaling over $1.6 million. These have included repaving 7 roads, 15 water supply and sanitation activities, 4 flood protection walls, 3 electricity system rehabilitations.
Okay, very good. That was my question. Before my time runs out, I got one one more question. I think
Sure.
I didn't want to interrupt you here, but I do have one more question I want to get to real quickly. I know in Afghanistan we are using the National Guard operation where we have National Guard individuals who have a background in agriculture to come in and help train and work with the Afghanis to try and teach them some different farming methods, as well as help establish new markets for their farming products. Is there something like that that is being thought of as a way to implement in Pakistan, as a way to gain the trust of the Pakistani people, the various factions there? Because I know that seems to be what's working in Afghanistan, and it's a great way to turn the people to realize that we're there to help, not to harm. Is there anything like that under consideration, or is that strictly something that's only going on in Afghanistan? And, Mr. Chairman, I do appreciate your indulgence.
At this time, no, although I must say we are extremely grateful to the U.S. the National Guard from, I think, 9 states now in Afghanistan that are operating there on agriculture development teams, together with U.S. Department of Agriculture and our own AID advisors. At this time, as to the best of my knowledge, we're not planning or thinking of that on the Pakistan side. We have other ways to deliver agriculture-related assistance, together with USDA, by the way.
Well, the reason for the question was you made the comment about building relationships with the people. We have to earn their trust, and it seems to be working in Afghanistan. I was seeing if that would be something you'd be thinking about, is trying to earn the trust of the people of Pakistan as well. Mr. Chairman, I do appreciate your indulgence. Thank you very much.